Thompson with, I think it's just an illusion rune, did so much work in that fight. And now he will be caught again. This is another deep committal.
Whitemon might have just bailed him out with a beautiful hook shot of Cogs. They're all grouped up. Thompson is dead, but maybe Ramses with a 3-man burrow. Hit that epicenter, hit the bear horn, get as much as you can out of this. It's a grab bag.
These gates, they have been a blessing and they have been a curse for XG. That is another one that just felt too deep.
And a third hero to go. Ramses gets him on the burrow too. All three that went through that gate will die for it.
Tundra strike back with another gift just straight into the heart of their side of the map. And Ame's looking on like, guys, is this the fight we want to take? XG just not respecting the numbers that can come from Tundra around these tier 2s. And now you gave him an opening, you gave him push potential. Pure straight into the high ground. Alpha Wolf here for Soxa for more damage boost. And the Ags is done for the Rubik, so despite Thompson having an extremely rough game here, in fact, he is bottom 3 net worth. This is a support Rubik at this point.
They're making this push without the Rubik. Extreme Gaming, gonna try and catch the heroes before they can retreat. That is a big misclick there from XM.
I mean, he got that siege creep.
Yeah, siege creep down, I guess.
That is a range drag claim from Tundra. Not an end-all be-all given the game state, but a big momentum loss for XG. Felt like they were clawing their way back in this series. They'll have to fall back a bit and regroup here as they try and get Ame to his next item.
Some over-aggression and mistakes cost Extreme what could have been a hold on this game. Wrestled from their grasp, and now Tundra with a 5k net worth lead, a range barracks down. They can exploit another maneuver from Extreme like that. Be looking at another full lane, another second lane. I mean, this tier 2 goes down and the whole base is potentially open for Lone Druid's take.
How much can you control the objective taking right now? How much can you get these lanes out? You need to try and find openings for this Nyx Assassin. I think Tundra are done getting picked off. They're just grouping. For the rest of this game, it might be. Though I don't know if XG want to gate into them anymore. These players have not panned out as much as they did in the early game.
Look at DY. What is this, man? He smokes out to get some wards down. Some very deep vision, but are these wards actually going to be helpful to you if it's Tundra just pushing into your base? I mean, they're not leaving Extreme side of the map right now.
They're great for deep wave cutting and splitting the lanes behind Tundra's front line, dragging them back. Let's also see some of the setup on heroes trying to catch Ame or kill the Viper on their side of the map. As long as you can feel like you can defend your base in the meantime, this lets you farm it out, not lose a net worth deficit. See if Tundra feel pressure to smoke across the map and try and catch the split push, or if they're happy just keeping the game static, looking towards the next Roshan.
That'll be coming in 3.5 minutes time. Meanwhile,
XM going to look towards the BKB on the Viper. That would be the next biggest pickup here for XG. We've seen how much damage he does in the fight. It's crazy when the stacks build up.
0.1 second TP pair from Thompson. It's DY to evacuate the area. But that Viper is still out there, still farming away that all-important BKB.
Part of the equation that's been working for XG in the fights has been isolating Thompson at the start, taking him out. With his Ags on the Rubik, it's that much more important because you cannot give away Firestorm +1 in a team fight and let him get multiple rounds of these spells off, right? He already has Firestorm, he goes in, let's say he gets Impale or Pit or Ice Path, something of this nature. You know, you do not take this Rubik out of the fight, he will win that team fight for Tundra unless the bear gets bursted, which JQ's got ideas of his own here, going back for the Dagon. He is very farmed on this Nyx. He does a lot of burst damage. But can you catch the Lone Druid before the true form comes out? That's a big piece of the puzzle here. If BKB done for Ramses means he can frontline a lot more confidently now.
Same goes for Pure.
Yep.
Double BKB timings, which means Ame is going to have to be the one to step up. He's the big physical damage dealer. You're going to need better Wukongs than what we've seen so far.
Ame, does he know the danger lurking around him right now? This ward might betray him as he doesn't see any of these smoke heroes, but they don't see him.
Oh, it breaks. Thompson, wait, a flare over the top. Ame is going to realize what's going on, hopping into the trees. They thought he was maybe on the low ground. So hard to know exactly where a Monkey King is. When the smoke breaks, he could be on any of these trees.
I mean, that is massive play for both teams. It's a lot of time and a very important smoke wasted for Tundra. They cross the entire map there. Between Ame goes bottom and the team pushes out mid, takes a high ground position. They're going to look to jump pure mid. Again, if he does not get his ult off.
They did have vision of Ame making his way to bottom and then back to mid.
Still want this Viper PKB. That's the thing. XM, he's so close.
Yeah.
Don't want to fight without that right now. As Tundra, they have their big fighting items. They have the double BKB plus that Thompson Ags. Not really missing anything right now. Should also keep in mind that Soxa Enchantress, he got to Hurricane Pike and he rolled an Enchanted Quiver. So he is outputting a lot more DPS than he was in those early exchanges. Can be a threat of his own, absolutely. Not a bad hero versus the Viper in the later stages of the fight, honestly. If you just sit there and trade with each other, it's unlikely you get Viper struck broken yourself. You're gonna want bigger targets for this spell.
Yeah. Looks like that BKB is going to be completed for XM as Tundra do not go for the high ground push. It would have been a bold move, but perhaps unwise just because we are entering that Roshan spawn period. Last thing you want to do is fail a high ground push and give Extreme free access to the pit.
Absolutely. This will also wear out that timer on the stolen Firestorm for Thompson. So XG are going to go into this next fight. This Rubik will have to look for the double spell steal. A little bit of an edge.
Pure calls in some reinforcements for another Tormentor.
Of course, doesn't want to take the one-on-one.
Understandable.
There's also a lot of Force Staffs on this Tundra side you have to think about. You have double Force Staff on the two supports, and you have a Force Staff on Thompson. There's a lot of bailout potential, getting heroes out of the Wukong, out of the control.
Really good. They know they just hit the Tormentor, but Ame, he goes in pretty deep, breaks that smoke. They're deciding whether or not he hopped away for the Burrow Strike. Just in time.
Back in.
Now he hops back in. The BKB commits that Wukong's command. And now let's see if the Lone Druid can stand toe-to-toe. He gets outside of the Wukong's command, but the bear does die. Meanwhile, XXS getting peppered by Soxa. A stolen boundless strike will stop him getting through the gate, and Soxa does the damage. Now XM, he's not sure quite what to do. The hook shot's gonna stop any movement from him. And Ice Path goes down, tries to go for the kill on Ramsey. He's hoping beyond hope that he can get that damage done, but it will not happen. DY will follow the rest of his team into the grave. Ame is the only survivor. Nobody dies on the side of Tundra.
They all end on Pure, and it was not enough. They didn't have some of the extra spells from the Nyx who got caught up on the side. Despite dodging the initial initiation on the Monkey King, they output 13,000 damage and they don't kill a hero. The Lone Druid will completely laugh it off as Tundra say, we're not gonna wait for Roshan, we're gonna push your base. Just too much sustain. Not enough single target burst damage. Ame needs more damage. It was a very disjointed fight. Supports did not get to do a lot, and now
Extreme Gaming are getting picked off before they can actually get their full 5-man. What a heads-up move. Whitemon, Ramsey, somebody spotted him somewhere in that trees, makes that guess, and now instead of waiting for the Viper in 10 seconds, they will have to wait another 40 to be able to have the Nyx Assassin. Time that Extreme Gaming might not have. As one full lane of barracks goes down, they can turn their heads towards that mid-melee racks as well if they want, or they can back up for Roshan. Roshan is going to spawn a bit late here, but Tundra should still have control of the pit.
Go into base, refill all the resources, make sure you have everything up for this fight. That was also a fight where Thompson got to live for the entire duration, and he didn't get crazy spells that he wanted, but he got a couple boundless strikes off. He got Viper Strike at the end. Those are the two he's holding on to. Again, that's like the easiest target for you to bring down if you're XG. They just pump everything into the worst thing, which is that bear who lives. If you have Vessel on him, maybe that looks different. But it feels like you have to go on who Jin goes on, and Tundra know it. They're just letting the bear and the Sand King front line, even Enchantress is not an easy target. You have to pick your poison here. Roshan is respawned. See if Tundra just commit straight into the pit, try and do it. I think they absolutely can. This is a potentially game-ending Aegis here.
Really interesting. If Tundra do not commit to doing this, then it will switch over to the other side, which Extreme Gaming would be very well positioned. They have a high ground ward on that gate. They have heroes already set up. The lanes are pushing in. Tundra see some of those heroes. They see the Monkey King, the biggest threat.
You have to do Roche here.
They're going straight to it, which means they should be able to have it. Extreme Gaming have no response to this move.
No contest. The only saving grace here is you're going to get to your butterfly on Ame, but that might be the last item you get here before you have to fight for your lives in a high ground defense situation. Now, in theory, that can be a tough fight for Tundra, but Lone Druid is one of the best base breakers in Dota.
Yeah.
And he just finished a full assault Kuros. They're just gonna 5-man gate into Ame. Ame says, well,
he's gonna go throw the Wukong's command, maybe he'll hit the impale, and Pure, oh, he got the fear, almost push Ame out of it, but the Wukong's command stays alive. Can the damage stay up, though? The clockwork goes down. How did Pure manage to get out of here?
What?
He's making a run for it, throws out the Gleipnirs, the stuns are after him. Ame hops on top, stun, where's the stuns? They didn't have it. They go for the bear instead, but they needed that kill on Pure. They needed it to turn the game around.
This hero, sometimes it just does not make any sense. 11,000 damage done by XG, and Pure, he just walks it off, man. Gates right into a Wukong, says no problem. If you're XG at this point, like, are you starting to question your own reality? Like, what does it take to bring this Lone Druid down?
Yep.
I think you need all 5 heroes hitting him. Yeah. Unless you find him, you know, outside the true form, which has just not been the case for most of this game.
Yeah, I mean, they need some BKB piercing disables to be able to catch him. I mean, they got the perfect opportunity here.
Yeah, they got him to under 250 before the true form, and then he walks it off.
And he just runs away. Pops his BKB, TP's out. I mean, come on.
I think that was another BKB to hero switch, by the way. You gotta remember, this Lone Druid only has 3 item slots on his main hero. Pure's been switching them around the whole game.
Yeah. Right now.
Very clutch plays on the itemization slotting from Pure here as he shows off the mechanical ability. XG, they do break down some of that lead, however, and kind of waste a little bit of this Aegis period. By the way, that Aegis went to the Rubik. An interesting choice here, not a high ground breaking Aegis in any capacity.
Yes.
But I guess if the Lone Druid can't die, I mean, he doesn't need it. He wants his slots on the hero.
Certainly put that to the test in that gate play.
Oh yeah.
Extreme Gaming couldn't do it there. Perhaps a high ground hold is where it's going to happen.
And I will say maybe the biggest talent in this game for changing situations like that would be the Monkey King 25. You can get an extra ring on this Wukong. Suddenly when you disperse or run out of it, maybe you just die. Maybe Ame doesn't get feared out of it. He is basically 1 level off of this Monkey 25. Finished the butterfly, looking towards an Ags. Has buyback and 300 gold if he wants to hold it up. Feels like so much of this game revolves around the Monkey King, and can he do the damage? Can he find the opening? Can Tundra break XG before this goes ultra late?
A level 25 on Ame would certainly make a huge difference. I mean, they're having the hard time keeping these heroes inside of the Wukong's command because they don't have any BKB piercing stuns, right? They just pop BKBs, walk out of it. A bigger ring would go a long ways.
I mean, they have 4 staffs and dispersers, but it's not as good as just being able to push the monkey out or get out yourself.
Yeah.
Ame skirting around this bottom lane. Looking for some camps, but we'll find nothing here as this game has evened out a bit more.
Hook shot across, Whitemont hits his mark thanks to a deep lane ward. DY's life is forfeit, 50 seconds. Timer for him. The bear goes up to the high ground. It's immediately met by staunch resistance. That's a big pin.
That is a very big hit. Hobson happy with the spells he's got right now. Got one more easily.
XH's got to feel a little empty. Much smaller circle from him, but I guess it's enough. The bear is not able to take down that building, and they will be able to wait out there. Jakiro coming back into play. Tundra Pure uses BKB for that. Get his bear out of there, I assume. So that actually is enough cooldown that Extreme can farm a bit more. Maybe we'll see some of those key items.
They're pushing towards this Monkey 25. The biggest thing, the more the Viper can scale, the better too. I mean, we saw the high ground's difficult. You can't just siege with the bear versus the Viper unless you jump the Viper, which there's some potential there for Tundra, but it would kind of require Ramsey's committing in. He is also closing in on level 25 on the Saiyan King. Really big talent in terms of the damage output here. This is a scary hero with 6 slots. I mean, a scary late game for both teams in a lot of ways. A lot of pressure on Jin Q for this XG lineup to find initiations with the Impale, because that is their best way to start a fight. like you said, no BKB Pearson ability means your initial stuns are vital to your teamfight success.